All right, let's talk about it. Dude, Maple Story, World of Warcraft, those are my two main MMOs. If I spent all of that time leveling up my online character in these MMOs in real life, would I be a millionaire right now? I was having a lot of fun. I got to escape reality. I got to live in a world where it's not real life and you're playing this warrior, this mage, this rogue where you're not this fat nerd in real life. You're playing this max level character and you live this alternative reality. It helped you escape reality. But I always have this thought of if I put all of this time into real life, I think we all can probably agree that we would have a lot more to show for ourselves in real life. And is that something that you would regret? To me, I don't feel like I regret it. There's a lot of lessons, there's a lot of things that I learned from playing these video games, these MMOs. One, for example, when I was very young, maybe 12, 13, 14 years old, I remember someone traded me in game and told me that he would help me level up my character. And little old me, super naive, I said, "Oh, no way, you're gonna help me level up my character that I just spent the last half a year on to get to level 70? You're just gonna level it up for free?" And I just gave him my password and he changed the password and I lost the account. I spent 6 months on this account and it was gone in 5 minutes because probably some teenager, maybe some 20-year-old decided that he wanted to take my account. Looking back at it, I was really mad, but guess what? Guess who never got scammed again online ever? This guy. Because the one thing that you can take out of that bad situation was that I learned my lesson. I got burned. Ever since that moment, I was extremely cautious of everyone. I thought everyone was trying to steal my account at any point in time. I would never give my password away. Even when you go to support on Amazon or Walmart, one of the disclaimers is that the Amazon employee or whatever will never ask for your password. Yeah, I learned that when I was 12 years old because someone stole my account. The thing is, I never got scammed again, and what I lost was pretty minimal in the grand scheme of things. I lost my account, but I think it was probably worth it because I could have got scammed out of thousands of dollars just being online. It's very possible. There's a lot of people out there that will try to take your money, take your account, whatever. For me, learning that lesson at an early age, I never made that mistake again. Even in both MapleStory and World of Warcraft, I was never really great at video games. I don't think I was super bad either. I may have been barely above average. For me, I learned to play the market, like the economy. I learned so much from MapleStory and World of Warcraft. Small things like, hey, if you buy something for cheap, you can make money by selling it for higher on the auction house or in the free market of MapleStory. And MapleStory, they call it merching, and World of Warcraft is just making gold. But I probably learned more about the economy and economics in these video games than anything. It's so surprising to me because even at my age right now, I'm 27, and there are people that don't really understand some of these concepts that seem so simple in your head, but these are things that I learned when I was like 15, just playing the game for fun. It taught me a lot of lessons in life. It really did. That's why I don't really regret playing these games because there's so many things, there's so many cool people. There's even people that I talk to nowadays that I've met in these video games that I would consider some of my best friends. And it's just wild because there is a part of me that thinks that if I spent all this time focusing on IRL stuff, I may be a millionaire, but I also wouldn't know all these lessons. It's like that butterfly effect. Your shoelace got untied and then you have to tie it. But maybe because that happened, you avoided a car crash by crossing the road. Or maybe all these games that I played, all this time that I spent in the game, taught me stuff that would apply to me in the future. There's just a lot of things that what I think are common knowledge, it's just not common knowledge to people. And it makes sense because everyone grows up with different stimuli, different experiences, everything, different parents, different hobbies, and not everyone's going to experience the same thing. But for the longest time, I always thought that whatever I think, everyone else thinks the same. And it took me a while to realize that what I think is common knowledge is just not common knowledge. And it's easy to change a tire out of a car, but there's tons of people that didn't grow up with dads that were mechanics or that knew how to work on these things. So it's just interesting to think about. But what I want to talk about is really the tens of thousands of hours that I played on these MMOs. Man, it's so bittersweet because as much as I love video games, there's so much more in life that I actually really enjoy than video games. And maybe I'm saying that because I feel like I overdosed on video games to the point where the games that I once loved don't feel as fun anymore. And I'm not exactly sure why, but it doesn't feel the same playing games nowadays. I just sold my PC. I'm unable to play games now, even if I wanted to. I could if I really wanted to. I would have to buy a new PC, but I sold my PC because I wasn't having fun like I used to as a kid. And growing up, getting older, I realized that there's some things that I still want to do. One of the hobbies that I started getting into is cars, and cars are expensive. If I play video games, there's probably no way that I could afford the things that I want to do, like travel and drive these cars. I always think about, like, if I spent those 10,000 hours starting a side hustle or a business, maybe I could be traveling the world right now, be driving any car that I want, and living the life that the adult version of me wants to play. And for me, it just doesn't feel the same when I play video games anymore because there's so many more responsibilities in real life. It probably is also a big factor when you're young, there's no responsibilities. So when you're playing these video games, it doesn't feel like you're wasting time because you don't have responsibilities. Whereas now, when I play these video games, I always think about I could retire myself, I could work a little bit harder, I could put in more hours, but that stops me from really having fun in the video games that I always enjoyed with no responsibilities. I would come back home from school and just hop on PlayStation or hop on the MMO, Maple Story, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty with the boys, whatever game. You just hop on with the boys and you're having a blast because you don't have to pay rent at the end of the month. You don't have to pay the electricity bill, the phone bill, whatever. Man, it's just so funny because when you're young, you want to be old, and when you're old, you want to be young. And it's just something that I always think about. I don't regret spending all the time I did in video games, but I also think about how different my life would be if I spent that time focusing on myself in real life. I guess it's just a double-edged sword, and I don't know, just something I thought about. So maybe you guys can relate. Anyways, have a good night.